Welcome to FinTech Matrix, where tech meets money and trends become power. You heard it here first. Today, August 4th, 2025, we're examining what's driving your financial world and reshaping technology across the globe. First, we break down the biggest finance headlines, from Ramp's $500 million surge and Wise's U.S. listing approval to global fintech profitability, crypto throttling, and emerging market expansion. Next, we explore major tech developments, including Palantir's pre-earnings breakout, AI threats exposed at Black Hat, and global moves on biometric regulation and AI data transparency. Finally, actionable insights to position you smartly for the week ahead. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's unpack what matters to your wallet and your world over the last 48 hours, here on FinTech Matrix. Let's start with what's moving the markets today. Here's your finance update. U.S. finance, markets and capital flows. Fintech funding momentum returned in a big way as Ramp, the expense management platform based in New York, closed a $500 million Series E2 at a valuation of $22.5 billion. Ramp's continued growth, fueled by AI-powered automation for enterprise spend, signals a renewed investor appetite for productivity-first fintech. Elsewhere, investors remain on edge over rising corporate borrowing costs and banks' quiet campaign against crypto, now dubbed Choke Point 3.0. Reports suggest that major banks are hiking service fees on crypto-adjacent businesses, triggering comparisons to Operation Choke Point, a now-defunct Obama-era policy. Legal challenges are likely, regulation and strategy. As fintech lenders navigate higher interest rates, new reports show a recalibration of credit risk models. With U.S. inflation sticky and interest rates between 4.25% to 4.50%, firms like SoFi, Affirm, and Chime are tightening eligibility and pivoting toward asset-backed lending. Analysts say fintech's next phase will reward credit discipline and regulatory alignment over aggressive customer acquisition. Crypto and federal policy. Crypto firms allege growing hostility from traditional banks, including delayed transactions, exorbitant fees, and sudden account closures. In response, fintech associations are urging Congress to hold hearings on what they call deplatforming by design. At the same time, a new QED-BCG fintech report found that 69% of public fintechs are now profitable, up from under 50% a year ago, a milestone in the sector's maturity. The report projects continued growth in embedded finance, tokenized assets, and AI-assisted compliance tools. UK finance. Wise shareholder shift. Shareholders of Wise plc, the UK money transfer giant, voted in favor of shifting the company's primary stock listing to the United States, while retaining its London listing. This move will extend its dual-class governance structure through 2036, a decision welcomed by management but met with skepticism from UK institutional investors. Regulators are growing increasingly concerned over the UK fintech sector's migration to US markets, with implications for liquidity, national competitiveness, and regulatory oversight. Fiscal strategy and market trends. While Wise captured headlines, broader UK markets were mixed. The FTSE 100 remained flat amid commodity price uncertainty and cautious earnings forecasts. Fiscal watchers continue to debate whether Chancellor Rachel Reeves' fiscal rules will hold amid pressure to stimulate investment and improve public services. Global finance. Funding highlights. Two notable European fintechs closed funding rounds. Handwave, Latvia, secured €3.6 million to expand its biometric palm payments system across EU markets. Tasio, Austria, raised €4.8 million for its zero-trust encrypted data environments, targeting financial services and RegTech applications. These rounds reflect continued investor interest in identity, privacy, and compliance-first fintech, even in challenging markets. Africa's emerging fintech model. In Uganda, telecom giant MTN confirmed plans to spin off its fintech division, with a goal of IPO listing on the Uganda Securities Exchange within 3 to 5 years. This marks one of the most ambitious fintech IPOs ever proposed on the African continent, a major milestone in emerging market financial digitization. Global awards push inclusion. The Global Impact Champions Awards, launched on August 2nd, will recognize fintechs promoting financial health, not just access. Winners will receive up to $1 million each, with finalists showcased at Singapore FinTech Festival 2025, a sign of a shifting global focus toward outcomes-based financial inclusion. Crypto market, policy watch and tokenization. While crypto prices held steady, with Bitcoin near $64,100, the infrastructure around digital assets saw significant developments. Goldman Sachs and BNY Mellon announced tokenized money market funds, joining BlackRock and Fidelity in using blockchain to settle institutional trades. Tokenized assets are now being accepted as collateral, reducing friction and settlement time across the buy-side ecosystem. Legal push for open banking. A fintech coalition, including the American FinTech Council, filed a brief before the July 29th court deadline, opposing proposed bank data access fees under the CFPB open banking rule. They warned this could undermine open banking frameworks, block fintech competition, and restrict consumer control over personal financial data. Finance wrap-up. Bottom line, U.S. fintech is recalibrating, with capital flowing selectively to AI-first platforms, while lenders brace for rate-driven headwinds. The UK faces a fintech brain drain as firms migrate to deeper capital markets. Globally, tokenization is no longer theoretical, it's being implemented in collateralized finance. Meanwhile, open banking, inclusion, and profitability are shaping the next chapter of digital finance. Now shifting to the world of innovation, disruption, and digital infrastructure, here's your tech update. U.S. tech. Palantir rallies pre-earnings. Shares of Palantir Technologies surged nearly 8% on August 2nd, ahead of its Q2 earnings release. The company's success in federal AI contracts and defense analytics has positioned it as a core vendor in U.S. national security tech. Markets are watching closely for guidance on Palantir's artificial intelligence platform, AIP, and its ability to scale across civilian and commercial domains. AI threats exposed at Black Hat. At Black Hat USA 2025, cybersecurity experts raised the alarm on generative AI vulnerabilities, including prompt injection, LLM model hijacking, supply chain poisoning. U.S. agencies are reportedly working on a proposed AI cyber defense accord, expected by year's end, that would enforce standards for AI deployment in critical infrastructure. Government dataset integration. A quiet but significant announcement came from the White House. All federal agencies will begin ingesting government datasets into AI models to optimize service delivery. Privacy advocates are calling for model accountability and transparency, especially when using biometric or citizen data for automation. Tech and regulation. Congressional committees are pressing Meta and OpenAI for transparency on the datasets used to train LLMs, especially regarding scraped content, facial recognition, and health records. This could spark a wave of AI data legislation by Q4 2025, with possible ramifications for model licensing and international AI trade agreements. UK tech. Cloud pricing under fire. Ofcom has deepened its investigation into cloud platform pricing, with AWS and Microsoft Azure facing scrutiny over egress fees, lock-in practices, and SME access. This may lead to formal antitrust action if firms fail to improve transparency and interoperability. UK regulators say unfair pricing structures could suppress cloud-native startups and public sector innovation. AI sandbox rollout delays. The UK FCA's AI Innovation Sandbox, originally scheduled to open fully by Q3, has hit delays, frustrating fintech applicants. Startups report inconsistent communication and unclear criteria, stalling pilot programs in real-time fraud detection and algorithmic credit scoring. The FCA says full rollout will happen by October 2025, but critics warn that continued delays could push innovation toward U.S. regulatory environments. Global tech. Apple versus EU. NFC dispute deepens. The European Commission is investigating Apple's restriction of NFC chip access, which prevents third-party mobile wallets from operating on iPhones. This may breach the Digital Markets Act, DMA, and could lead to a fine of up to 10% of Apple's global turnover, over $38 billion. The case could set a precedent for global mobile wallet interoperability standards. Asia-Pacific AI Transparency Pact. On August 2nd, Singapore, Japan, South Korea, and Australia signed the Asia-Pacific AI Transparency Pact, outlining shared standards for AI audit trails, model decision documentation, public sector transparency. The pact is a regional counterpart to the EU's AI Act and signals growing international alignment on AI ethics and disclosure. Tech wrap-up. Bottom line, U.S. tech is leaning hard into AI, but the risks are showing. From Palantir's momentum to national data ingestion and black hat warnings, oversight can't lag behind deployment. In the UK, regulatory bottlenecks and cloud market friction are hindering competitive momentum. Globally, Apple faces major legal pressure, and Asia-Pacific is stepping up with a bold push for transparent AI governance. And that wraps up today's breakdown. From Ramp's funding boost and Wise's U.S. migration, to crypto's standoff with banks and global fintechs pivoting to secure data and tokenized assets, and from Palantir's AI surge and black hat cybersecurity warnings, to Apple's NFC battle and Singapore's AI Transparency Pact, one thing's clear. The fintech and tech frontier is no longer emerging. It's erupting across borders, business models, and regulatory frameworks. If today's deep dive helped you stay sharp, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss what moves the markets. Today's question: are regulators finally catching up with tech, or are AI and crypto still outrunning the rulebook? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear what you think. This is FinTech Matrix, delivering money, tech, and trends to your doorstep. Stay ahead, stay informed. Thanks for watching.